I've had a disaster in my latest motorcycling project. Catch you inside.
RevelatorAlf.
Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. So at the end of the last video you would have seen me starting to do some MIG welding, and literally about a couple of minutes later everything went completely wrong. And I'll tell you why. It was a mixture of gas and torch thingy completely breaking down. Right, so this is basically what happened. The torch, this is the heat shield of my MIG welder. The tip in there actually got all clogged up and completely welded solid. So I tried to remove the tip, but it broke off in the holder in this, what they call a swan neck. Anyway, so I tried to do a little back street fix, and I got another tip and I drilled it out and I jammed it back in there, but it was the wrong size. Anyway, I know. I should have just given up at that point. So then I tried to go online to buy a new component, this tube here, but they don't sell it anymore. So in the end, after trying, I actually got a brand new one, and it was very easy to fix. Just undo the bolts, rethread the wire through, all is dandy. But before then, all seemed to be going well. My welding was on point, all starting to get there, almost to a point where I could show my welding photos with a little bit of pride, let's say. And then all of a sudden it went completely wrong. Let me show you. Right, it was going from this and that to all of a sudden this mess. And it was horrible. So what was going wrong? Okay, these little hobby welders that you get these little gas canisters, and this is a CO2 argon mix, and it's got a crappy little regulator that goes on top, and that's so you open the valve and the gas comes through. The problem is you have no idea how much is in here, and you don't know what the pressure is, and you don't know what the flow rate is. So actually you could be halfway through a little welding job, everything runs out, and your weld goes from, you know, nice and smooth to all of a sudden being full of holes, and it's just coughing and splattering, whatever, all over the place. And that's a surefire way of knowing that you've run out of gas. So if you get this kind of porosity, lots of holes, and you're not getting a smooth weld anymore, then it's probably your gas has run out. The other problem with this is that it just runs out so quickly. So if you're just doing a couple of tackle welds here and there, no problem. But if you're doing anything substantial, any kind of weld, and even if it's only about that long a weld, then you'll probably run out of gas quite quickly. So what did I have to do? Well, I got this thing. Look at that. Right. So basically I went to a gas welding supplier, and I got a huge bottle that's going to last me quite a long time. I've got an adapter tube which will go from a regulator into the little tubing that goes into my welder. I've got a brand new torch now, all fitted, and I've got a purpose-built regulator. So basically this fits on top of the gas bottle, the tubing fits on there, and you can see I've got two gauges there. So you compare that to that, you can see what the first issue was. So I think if you're going to do this kind of thing and teach yourself how to weld and all that kind of stuff, so, especially with MIG welding, where it is such a big fine balance between the power, the voltage, the wire speed, the thickness of the metal that you're welding, and also the gas. Really, the major component is that shielding gas. If you don't have that shielding gas, then it's not enough. Then your weld is going to look absolutely horrible anyway. So that's what I've learned this week, is to do away with these things because it's a waste of time. Just invest in a big bottle and a proper regulator, and see how I go. So that's what I'm going to do. Right, so crisis averted. So I'm going to be hooking up this today, but you might see behind me a whole chunk of metal. Let me show you. So this is my new project, you can imagine. Okay, so this now is what that hunk of metal used to be. It used to be an old boat trailer, and basically what I'm going to do is, well, I've chopped it all up. I was going to try and dismantle it because it's all held together with bolts, but they're all rusty, so I decided to chop it all up, and I'm going to make a collapsible motorcycle trailer, but it's going to be a heavy duty one that potentially could even hold my Harley. But really, it's going to be for lightweight bikes, enduro bikes, that kind of thing. So if I ever get a trail bike, I can just load it on there. The idea is I can have this all in smaller bits. I can have it hidden beneath the workshop bench here. It'll be out of sight, out of mind. And then when I need it, I can just, with 2 big duffel bags, let's say, take it to the pickup, put it in the back of the pickup, and then quickly put it all together wherever I need to pick up the bike, let's say, and then transport the bike back here. Or if I want to go off for a ride one day and it's quite far away, I just quickly put this together, put the bike on it, and away I go. But it's going to be able to hold about 300-400 kilo bike, so it's going to be really substantial but lightweight. Anyway, so that's all coming. That's going to be my next motorcycling project. But I thought I would give you a heads up on what's going on with the welding. So that was going quite well up until I got into this major issue with the gas and also the torch that completely, well, broke down on me. But if there's anything I've learned today is, say, if you've got a hobby welder and you are using something like this, you'll soon grow out of this very, very quickly. And you'll soon run out of it very quickly. So my idea is go to your local gas welding supplier and see if you can get the best deal possible. So with this is from a company in the UK called Hobby Weld, and it is quite expensive to get all the regulator, which you own from now on, and also the gas tubing, and I got some extra wire for future use as well. So I did pay quite a bit of money, but at the same time this is going to last a long time. So you basically got a deposit on the bottle, which is about 55-60 pounds, and then just to refill it is about 35-40 pounds, something like that. So that's going to last a long time. It's probably going to last about 15-20 times longer than this anyway. So you know, the economics will work out in the long run. But say if you're only ever going to do 1 or 2 little tack welds and just mess around with it, and then you might as well stick with this. But if you're going to start moving on from just a little bit of practice to actually trying to practice properly, then I would suggest dump this, get a proper big bottle and a regulator, invest in it, and then you go. Right, anyway, so I'm going to set this up, maybe get to do a bit more practice welding, dismantle that old boat trailer properly into smaller component parts, and then start mocking up a new bike trailer, well, heavy duty one as well, and hopefully not burn everything down, because that's a real risk with MIG welding, of course, is the fire risk as well. So always got to be really mindful of that. So whether you do it outside or whatever, the problem with gas welding or MIG welding is that, you know, you need it in really calm conditions or a sheltered area. So you might want to think about some other kind of welding if you're going to be welding outside. Right, I thought I'd bring that to you because it's a bit of a spanner in the works this week. And I say all was going well, then all of a sudden I kind of fell off the cliff and everything wasn't working so well. But I'm trying to be as honest as I can. If you watch my Instagram photos, I'm not holding back. It's all stuff as I'm learning and all the failings that I'm making. And really, ultimately, why I'm doing this as well is that I can start applying this to motorcycle repairs or things like that, you see. So then I can start looking at designing new parts or new components, let's say, for my bike, my Harley, but also other things as well. I've always felt there are some parts or some areas on the bike that could do with something else, be modified in some way. So that is the long-term plan, to come up with little solutions for my bike and any other bike that I'll have in the future as well. Right, anyway, so that's all coming, that's all in the future. But anyway, so this was a lesson learnt this week. Gas, get your proper gas, get a big bottle if you can, and make sure all this is working. There we go. I mean, at some point I might have to change the welder completely, but I think, you know, I think I made enough of an investment this week at least. Right, on I go. Catch you again in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, all that kind of stuff, and I'll catch you again. Ta-da.